I think that there's a lot at stake at this particular moment in time in so many ways, obviously politically, but also the media landscape, because the media is constantly trying to get you to drink something that they're selling, so to speak, or buy something that they're selling. And I think that a lot of the big networks have been guilty of this. And Fox is part of that as well, where I used to work. I mean, hey, I've worked at kind of all of them, so I've seen it up close and personal. But what's interesting is that the identity of Fox has really come under fire in recent years. And as you look at the sort of founder of that company getting up there in age, like into his 90s, he's not going to be around forever. There's a lot of concern and many questions about what the future of Fox News will actually be. And so this has recently come up. Apparently, Rupert Murdoch, who's, the big guy, the real big guy, who started Fox and owns the Wall Street Journal, he's pretty concerned that his other kids that have a say in all this and voting rights in Fox, that they actually don't have the conservative interests in their DNA, right? They're not, and by the way, they're not conservatives. They don't like Trump. They don't really like Fox. I mean, granted, it's made them a lot of money, but they don't really like or believe in the business. He's got one kid that does. And so he's looking at, well, can I just transfer everything to this one kid and take away the voting rights of the other three? Because if I don't, then guess what? Fox News as you know it, the Wall Street Journal as you know it, it's going to cease to exist. And so it's a real concern. It's sort of amazing that it didn't come up earlier, right? Like kind of surprising. Well, Brian Stelter, who is a media critic, he somehow at one point had a TV show. Now he doesn't, but he's going on other TV shows and talking about this very issue. And he isn't necessarily saying anything that I haven't already told you, but I think it's nonetheless important insight that echoes what I've been saying, and we can talk about it on the other side. The question is, like, why is it happening now? One, Rupert's old, and what does it really mean for the business? Let's take a listen.
So why is this happening now? I mean, it's like, it seemed like it was all about Lachlan, obviously, for the last 5 years, and the other kids were kind of sitting on piles of money, but they weren't in control of anything.
That's right. The other kids had $2 billion each. They had to go play with their piles of money. But all of this was all up until the day Rupert Murdoch dies. It's all coming. Death is coming for us all one day. And Rupert Murdoch is now making plans for after he dies. Because basically for decades, we've all been under the assumption that in the event of Rupert's death, there will be a power struggle for control of Fox and the rest of this empire. Because all of the adult children, the 4 adult kids, each get one vote over control of the company. Basically, think about it this way. If it's 3 against 1 and Lachlan Murdoch is the loser, then the other children could take over and change Fox News. That was the plan. But Rupert Murdoch is trying to rewrite the trust so that Lachlan is in charge forever, permanently, meaning even a decade after Rupert Murdoch dies, he still wants his conservative son to be in charge.
The
favorite kid, I guess. So what does that mean for the business? I mean, number one, we'll see if he's successful. He's calling it Project Harmony because he thinks everybody's going to get along better if he does this. But yeah, apparently the other kids aren't too happy. And so if it doesn't go through, if anything happens to him, what is the future? I don't think the company has much of a future. And it's not entirely because of its politics, all right? I think that this is the future. Really and truly. I mean, I firmly believe it. I think the future is changing as far as media goes. The big production, the big sort of cable was the future at one point. I used to work in network television and then went to cable and was like, wow, this is so liberating. This is so cool. This is so new and neat. And now I'm over here and I'm saying the same thing all over again. And I think the future is going to be even bigger. I mean, at some point we'll have VR and, I'm actually traveling in Italy right now and doing some work over here. And I can bring you literally right into the streets and talk to the people with you. I mean, it's all going to change. It's all going to change in massive, really cool, exciting ways. But what happens to the networks, right? So I think regardless of politics, and Fox is going to have a hard time navigating that if 3 out of the 4 are not conservative. If they're going to lose that sort of hold on the conservative market, and they've already started to, obviously because of streamers, obviously because of podcasts, obviously because of networks like Newsmax, et cetera, if they're going to lose that, then what does that mean for the company? What does it mean for shareholders? I mean, I wouldn't be very bullish, frankly, on Fox right now. And that's not like sour grapes or anything. I'm thrilled I'm not there anymore. I mean, it's really not, it's kind of a thankless position to be in. And this is so different and so new and so cool. So please make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Hit the bell if you're on YouTube so that you know when I'm here live. But it really is just a massive shift in the industry. And I think there's going to be a lot of players that do get left behind. And Fox News, regardless of what happens with the kids, actually could be one of them. If they don't think about how to innovate and how to change, and maybe they will. Look, I mean, Lachlan had some tech ventures. I guess some of them failed previously, but his head's in that space and he's thinking about sports betting. They have sort of a hand in that, etc. So they're hopefully trying to be innovative enough, because they're going to have to be. It's so easy, right? When you're sitting on the big kahuna to just collect the checks. And by the way, not worry, you can hate the source of the income. You can say to your friends at the country club, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is the business. But it is the business. And I don't know if that business is really going to be there anymore. So we wish them lots of luck. I know a lot of you said sayonara ages ago. You're over here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for that. Really, it does mean a lot. I think that eventually the end of this mainstream media is coming. It really is. I mean, there's some more changes that just came over at CBS I read about as I came on with you just moments ago. I guess the main anchor there, she's stepping down. The president of CBS News, she's stepping down. I mean, you've got so much change happening. I'm convinced ABC News is going to go bye-bye, and The View is going to go bye-bye very soon. And, there's one person that's going to have a party when it happens. I mean, look, I have friends that work in a lot of these places. I'm not wishing for them to lose their jobs, but I will tell you this. The mainstream media is filled with a lot of lousy people, and Tucker Carlson gets that. Let me share with you just a little clip of him speaking specifically about that. Take a peek.
What is the life expectancy of disinformation networks like CNN and NBC and all these organizations that spread lies against the best interests of our country?
I think it's pretty short. I don't think they have much time left. I feel sad when industries collapse. I mean, I was always rooting for the coal miners. You know what I mean? The people who make fax machines. I hate change. But the collapse of the legacy media will be one of the happiest days of my life. And I say that as someone who spent his life in legacy media. I'm the son of someone who did the same, so I've been in it literally for 55 years. And I think it's not only dishonest, there are dishonest things that persist through the generations, but the peculiar combination of dishonest, preachy, stupid, and unattractive is very tough to sustain. And that's where they are. There's almost nobody on any of those channels who's not stupid and a liar. There are some, I know everybody, so there are some who got trapped there or something. You know what I mean? It's like being stuck in an elevator with people who haven't bathed and they can't get out. But most of them know exactly what they're doing, and they deserve to be punished for it through unemployment. And I think that's coming really soon.
So it's an interesting take on things. I've often said this too. I think it's a really stupid bunch of people, and I'm sort of like, how am I surrounded by? I mean, it's unfortunate to say, and again, forgive me for any friends that I have that are still there. And, there are some smart ones. I agree with him occasionally, but for the most part, it's just not a very exciting, creative, or thoughtful group of people, and they are spoon-fed everything by people with an agenda, and they take it and they run with it, and it's discouraging. Frankly, it's very disillusioning, right? Because you grow up thinking, oh, the media is something, and then you realize, oof, they're basically a bunch of people that sometimes I feel like they're for hire, like they're hit people, right? Let's just get so and so and so and so and do a hit job on such and such, and that's what happens, and that's frankly pretty disgusting, and that's what the media has become. So I'm hopeful that in this new sort of environment, there's an opportunity for individual creators, all of us, like me over here. Look, this is totally different. I don't have the bells and whistles. I'm in a hotel room in the middle of Italy coming to you because it's important that I do, and it's important that we stay in touch and that you hear the truth. I mean, the truth is so important. It matters so much, and they want to rewrite history in real time. And we can't let them, okay? We just can't let them. So yes, the destruction of mainstream media is coming. I guess it can't happen fast enough.